You see it okay? You guys? So, folks, we're gonna get started with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag. We're gonna get started today. Allegiance to one nation.
Red line through there.
No, it isn't playing. The audio is playing. Yeah.
Just on
Yeah, do you know how to mute with this one? There's no mute button.
That's not even ours. It did that last night.
It's delayed.
This is that meeting.
Yeah, you know how to mute this one?
That's not even ours. It did that last night.
Does it not mute is turned on and somebody turns it on?
So is it recording that you can hear it on the?
Oh, I don't know, but I think you just have to click the audio button, because usually there's a red line. here.
It's already recorded.
There is a red line through something?
There's not.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
We're good, Stanley.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so let's get started with the vendor claims. This is for claims ending on August 3rd, 2026. Utility claims $25,550.
So moved.
I'll second.
So this is for the economic development income tax. I don't think we were sent that one.
Yeah, that's the one you were holding off paying.
Right. Did we verify that that was coming out of the correct account?
Which one? I'm sorry.
The main side, right?
This is for
From
the
the main
side.
side.
Came out of the commissioner's budgeted account, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one. That's come out of.
Okay, well, there was some question as to which
We'll have
one.
to, we will probably need to put it in the form of an agreement, but we need the Humane Society to, I mean, we already paid the claim, but we probably should itemize it in agreement with the information that Todd had sent me. Suggests that an agreement is the appropriate way to itemize that if there's going to be some type of structural upgrade. So, you know. Again, Humane Society will have to be a council signature with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
So
so
we'll need to write that up.
sorry,
Will somebody have to write that up?
we will, I mean, again, the claim's been paid,
Right,
so, I
right.
mean, they're gonna note it, but just say that, hey, we. After the fact, put it in the form of a service agreement or
Right.
an agreement. So we have, the state board of council wants to see something signed, basically just saying if you're making a payment and it includes structural upgrades or anything. Presumably to do with economic development, they wanted in the form of an agreement. So rather than just a vote.
so do we need to ratify this, or do we need to just vote to approve it? Since it was already done.
It's already, you're just voting to ratify it.
Okay, so we need a motion to ratify it.
So I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion from Donnie, a second from Charlie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is purple, I think.
Oh, it's purple?
I don't. think-
I'm
I think
sorry.
it can pass for purple.
This one might not be purple.
Okay, it's the highlight of my day. I'm gonna take purple.
Oh, okay.
It's purple.
Okay, but if that's writes purple, I want that one back.
Absolutely.
I think it was on purpose, because you were painting things in purple last week.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay, so. Get this stuff on. Now we have vendor claims. Ending in 8/18/2026, for the period of 8/07 to 8/14, total of $402,154.65.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I did see that the Red Cross came out this time. So is it every 6 months or every year? That's pretty sizable.
I think that's every year.
You, because when you guys do that stuff, it's usually a yearly thing.
Okay.
I could call Teresa and ask her though.
All right, so we have payroll for pay period ending 8/1/2026. Pay date was 8/7/2026. Total of $339,511.86. Motion from Donnie,
I'll second.
second from Charlie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a special meeting for the commissioners on July 24th, 2026. We have the minutes here. I didn't see any issues. I reviewed them.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
So move.
Motion from
Second.
Donnie, second from Charlie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so this is the August 3rd minutes. Charlie, you were not present this meeting. So it's just Donnie and I.
So move.
Got a motion from Donnie. I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we had the August 7th special meeting. Looks like we were all present at this meeting.
So move.
Got a motion from Donnie,
I'll second.
second from Charlie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have a key approval form for Courtney. Is it Corley? Is that the last name?
I think so. That's what Rick gave me.
Yeah, quote me. Small claims.
Okay,
Gonna say what office.
small claims clerk is the title.
I'm okay. So,
And this will be in courthouse.
Yep.
Got a motion from Donnie,
I'll second.
second from Charlie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Michaeline, did all those documents make it back to you?
Yes, they did.
Okay. I think that's all of our
Yeah.
early stuff, so I think we can move into Jim.
Morning.
How's
How's everybody today?
Good.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. All right.
At least the humidity went down a little bit.
Yes, it is, and the storms are not here. I'll let Nancy explain that first.
That was what our billing company has made for the month of July. But with the reconciliation, it boosted us up to $163,687.
Okay.
So, but that's just what the billing company gave us.
But this number's not accurate then.
Not total, not after the reconciliation.
Do we need to announce this? Officially or no?
We never have.
No, we haven't,
Okay.
but we did these. This is from Mr. O'Hare.
So we have a check from O'Hara Law Offices for $756.88.
We have these three. The merchant fee, that's all.
Okay. That check here from Merchants Medical for $772.50. Another check from Merchants and Medical for $758.97. And another check from Merchants and Medicals for $82.45.
Any questions?
I don't know. Should give me one of those, Jim. I don't think I-
I did. Five of them. I think, yeah. I'll leave you with this one. Okay, when I'm done, I'll be down. All right, this is the month of August. This report is for July. Everything's so much the same. Our staffing went down to a 70% of a minimum of 2 ALS staffed units, which is down from 10% from the month before. It is vacation season and everybody decides they want to take the vacation same time, which doesn't happen. Our transfers have went up.
Good.
We're currently at 60 for last month, which is a lot better than the 40 that we've been getting. We're back in getting transfers from the hospital, not using the portal, and they're calling us. We do have been doing some out of county transfers. As I progress this whole program, I'm not turning down transfers. That's bringing the money back in to offset everything we have.
But even though you're doing transfer, you still always have 3 units. For 911 call.
For 911 calls. One time we did not. And they were sitting there doing nothing. It was a beautiful early morning. So we sent them out for that.
But it was still covered.
It was still covered.
Yes.
Transfers right now are back to 18.9% of our call volume, which increased by 4.1%. Personnel, we have 3 full-time openings for EMTs, which we are interviewing from within for the full-time spot from the part-timers. One new part-timer was hired. She came straight out of class for the transfer truck. We have 2 full-time paramedic openings open. No applicants for that, but we have 1 part-time paramedic that's interested in that position. Training, that's continual. I mean, we did advanced trauma training like we always do on top of individual trainings at the bases now. Last incident, I had to actually change. It was 7/26/2026. And that involved the ambulance and my car. Maintenance, everything's current and up to date. 4725 is almost ready to go to the auction yard. I still have waiting on a striker to come out and take the power load system out of the back of it, that we just keep moving it to whatever we go for. The bases, North Judson needs a floor. It's missing sections of the floor.
Like the tile or
Yeah, the tile is gone. It's got like 6, 7 different sections that are missed. And somebody years ago poured something on the flooring to clean it, and it didn't clean it. It made it worse. And now there's streaks all through everything. It's one of the better of the 3 bases. So eventually, I got quotes coming in for that.
I'm gonna say, have you got quotes
Yeah,
yet?
I just went up there and did a base inspection last week. See what needed on all of them. Medic 3, same thing. The floor is cracking. It's got ceramic tile in it. It doesn't have the normal tile. And I'm getting quotes for all the flooring all at the same time. I don't know whether a laminate would be better, a heavy duty commercial laminate, or back to the ceramic tile, but you drop something on ceramic
Yeah,
tile,
that's
it
correct.
shatters. Rivertown, no changes, also no complaints. Our equipment is still the same as it was last week. We have 2 out of service units, one broken and retired, it's sitting at the county garage, the other one's sitting in the warehouse. It's the one that's up, getting ready to go up to the auction. The one at the county garage is the one that I'm holding for rechassis. Somewhere down the line. All the ambulances are waiting the installation of the narcotic safes, the digital safes that we got to meet DEA requirements. Grant updates, all the FEMA grants were denied. But I've been working on a grant with the Rural Health Transformation Act for over 4 or 5 months now. It's been very tedious. And if you look at the back, very back page, Friday, we were awarded this grant for MIH. This grant includes 2 MIH vehicles, 2 new paramedics for the community health system, training, their salaries, an administrative salary, guaranteed the program existence for the next 5 years.
And no cost to the county.
The whole MIH program, I have spent 0 tax dollars.
Absolutely. Good.
I have found all the money to do this. And it's a big benefit for the county. I just came off a conference call with the MIH committee for the state. Who was asked me to go down to French Lick to speak on how our program is starting to run. And how I find my money. I don't want to divulge my secrets.
Right.
With that,
Well, good job on that.
I tell you, it's a life changer in this county.
No, I had someone ask me the other day, so if you go to somebody's house. Look, check them out or whatever, does that cost that person?
No,
Okay,
that's covered in this grant too. We can
Okay.
bill for this
so
grant.
you'll go to their house.
Whatever their
and you
insurance,
bandage or whatever.
yeah, no, whatever their insurance pays, that's what we expect.
Okay,
That's why I was trying so hard to find something to supplement all that, because it
Alright.
does cost.
Yeah.
To run the vehicles. Especially since they want 2 cars, so
when do you think you put the second car in place?
I have to find it shortly because this grant period starts September 1st, 2026, and it continues till September 1st, 2031. So it's a lot of maintenance involved in this grant. There's monthly reports and quarterly reports that you have to file because it's a federal grant. I haven't got the actual amount yet, but I know it's in excess of about 200,000 a year. Awesome. For the next 5 years. Tomorrow is the official Michael Wilcox Day. We are having a open ceremony style at Medic 3 base. For him, beginning at 4 o'clock. It's open to the public. It's open to county employee, anybody. We have no new donations. We still have t-shirts, of course. All our PPEs in good standing. Any questions on this section? Comments, concerns, complaints?
One thing we talked about, oh, this has probably been a few months ago, was a new truck might be 3 years out.
Correct.
Did you ever, I know you were looking at getting some quotes and trying to get the price down.
I've gotten 3 quotes, but I still think it's negotiable. All 3, what they've sent me. I use one against the other in quality and comparison. So,
Just thinking if we got 3 years out, we should probably start thinking about how we're gonna pay for this and get it in motion.
Right. I know we talked about the four-wheel or all-wheel drive or whatever.
Yep.
Could you get a chassis that fits on the
I can,
remount?
I can.
Remount, you know, what I mean, that'd still give us a new hand, but
Right.
a little cheaper this round.
I can.
I think it's worth presenting.
Yeah. I think so.
Cost.
Yeah.
North Judson Fire has a rescue squad, a big heavy duty big box that will accommodate what we need. And I know it's up for sale right this second. I don't know what their absolute bottom figure is. But it's the box itself, probably when it was built, was over 400,000. And it is on an ambulance frame. Last I heard, they wanted 10 grand for it. But
So is that something you're thinking about remounting or to use
yeah,
the whole? Okay.
that would accommodate the heavier patients, the room, you could stick 2 cots in it. And
So if we could get it for 10 or 15, it would save us a couple hundred.
absolutely, it would a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
Soon do you think you could have some ideas put together for us? Think a month?
For the next meeting.
I think that'd be really.
Yeah.
Good, cause our process is gonna take a while and it's gonna have to go to council and we gotta figure out how we're gonna pay for it.
Yep.
It could take 3 months just to figure out how we're gonna get there.
Yeah, we might be able to start building a kid.
The other things I had is the sheriff's department has the posse. I've had multiple people inquire for volunteer positions. Which after this last round of storms, I would have taken anybody. How do you guys feel about having volunteer EMS?
As long as our insurance and stuff, I think that something like that is huge.
Carrie, I talked to Carrie about it about 3 months ago, and she was good with it. She said it would, cost us like $100 per person just to cover them on insurance.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
The
It would be worth
liability.
it.
The
Because I mean,
Right.
if I want to do a transfer at 3 o'clock in the morning, I've got to call somebody who's probably going to be on overtime. Down. When I could just call one of the volunteers, hey, I just need a driver. That's all I need.
And of course, you would do training and all that.
Yep, they would have to train because they have to be EMT level, or EMR level,
Okay.
either one. I just want to give a
Maybe something
blessing
worth
to
looking
pursue.
into.
Yeah, I would think the criteria of what they can and can't do and what their capabilities are would be the most important thing.
They're all state certified. So it would be just like me teaching Charlie EMT, he gets state certified. He can fully function under our protocols. I'm looking
Worth
at,
looking into.
I'm looking at is that they're volunteering to do this. No compensation. They just want to have an affiliation and be able to help.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, most of them are county residents.
And Charlie's got the time, so I think he.
I have an EMT class coming up starting September 10th.
Might be there.
It might learn you something.
Well, yeah.
I think it's worth looking into,
Okay.
for sure.
The last thing I have is my DEA stuff that has went upstairs is in the final stages. I've got the first stage approved yesterday. With this approval, she made 2 recommendations, and one of them is in our county policy. She would like to see everybody that's on the 2nd floor that comes in and out, that's an employee, to be randomly drug tested.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it is in the policy that we can do it, but I have to get this in place.
I think even our garage, Rachel, don't you test your people every now and then?
Yeah, they have to be tested randomly for their
I think that'd be a good thing.
Okay, I just want to make sure you got your blessing, because when I present this to Michaeline, which I just did basically, she has to be okay with it.
I'm willing to do it right now.
Because I know DEA is going to be in here shortly. PLA was the hardest. DEA, I'm gonna abide by their rules, because not only is the county accountable for it, but my name is on, it's assigned to me, and I want to be specifically sure, because I'm not doing jail time.
Exactly.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay,
What do you need me to do? I'll do it right now.
there's some different, some more drug tests.
Justin, is there any red tape here that we're gonna encounter?
Random drug
Push
testing
back
call.
from employees or anything?
Well, Jim and I just had a quick word before the meeting, and he said he thought in our handbook, it doesn't specify specifically that they can be random drug tested, which is kind of odd to me. It seems like that's a policy any government, so, it wouldn't hurt maybe to put a policy in place to say you are subject to random drug testing. It should be that way anyway. I don't know. Of course, our handbook it's been a few years since it's been revised.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, I can reach out to the company that put it together and just say, is there a reason that we don't have a random drug testing policy in there in place? And it's just, upon an event happening, so I think that should be standard. If he's saying it's gotta happen, then it's gotta happen. So with your blessing, I'll reach out to him to make sure that there's not an issue with it, but then I can make it the policy for you guys if you'd like.
Thanks.
That is all I have, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks for looking in that grant and then getting it awarded.
That's just one of many more I'm working on.
Right. Appreciate it.
I just gave it to Charlie.
Here, I'll give them.
I can just send you a copy.
I'm like,
Actually, your copy's probably still on my desk.
I told Mike when. There's a gym of the school.
Sean?
No, but
purple. Yeah.
Morning, commissioners and everybody.
morning.
Sir?
All right. Thank you for your time and attention. What we're requesting, may I set this down?
Absolutely.
What we're requesting is continued funding from the opioid abatement restricted funds for calendar year 2027. For two items specifically, the first one would be for the continuation of our probation pretrial services program that's ran by Mr. Charles Phillips. And we would be requesting the same stipend we did from that restricted fund of $70,000. And the second would be for the clinical services provided by Tim Gearhart and his associate of $50,000. Both of them are in alignment with the information I've sent previously with the utilization of the restricted funds. It falls right into place with that. It would permit our agency to continue to provide these needed services to these folks that are on supervision or on pre-arraignment waiting, disposition of their cases. So that's the first request. And then the third would be, if I can continue on, the third request would be the $35,000 that was paid previously out of the seeded funds, I believe, to subsidize the cost of GPS electronic monitoring for our pretrial defendant population. And that's been approved previously. Colleen can tell you we're well within the parameters of that. We haven't overspent that. We do a very good job of keeping track of it to ensure we have the right people on that and getting them modified off early if their behavior is good. But I think last year when we discussed it, it was recommended that we propose this on a yearly basis as well.
Yeah, so I think that come up last year on that. You come
Yes,
to
sir.
us every year.
Yes, sir. Correct. So that's our request today. And certainly Colleen and I can entertain any questions or comments you may have regarding that. We'd be happy to help.
So the monitor thing we use pretty often. I mean,
Yes, but the allotted was 35 grand. We're not even half. I
Okay.
think we're like 12 or 15 maybe.
so we could use more if it comes available.
Right.
And we don't have a substantial portion of pretrial defendants that are on GPS monitoring awaiting court.
Right.
The disposition of their case. The ones that we do have would be classified as having a victim in their case, a flight risk, things like that. So it's a small population right now, approximately 6 to 7 individuals.
And the first two things you asked about, that's been a continuing thing, right?
That is correct, sir. Yes, sir. That really assists our program with the opportunities to do evidence-based programs with these people, to work on ways to reduce recidivism and reoffending. Because you guys know, we all know, supervision's expensive, yes, but so is jail costs. A bed of jail costs, $65 to $75 a day. So at least with these programs in place and the continuation of that, we can continue to do what we're here to do, be an asset to the county and ensure that we're putting the right people into the right services.
I'm to make a motion that we allow him to. Do you want us separated or do you want all three?
Well, to make it clean, we probably should maybe do them separate since he's requesting them separately.
So I make a motion, we approve the opioid funding for 2027.
I'll second that.
We got a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Right.
Aye.
And the second one was seeded funding, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct. I believe that's how it was stated previously. The seeded funds to subsidize the continued cost of the GPS electronic monitoring for pretrial defendants only for calendar year 2027.
And that was for 35.
Yes, sir,
I'll
that's
make
correct.
that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I say something though? The budgets have already been advertised, so these will all have to be as an additional appropriation in January. Because the budgets had to be advertised 10 days before the hearing. And the hearing was last night.
Are they already on your budget?
No, they weren't,
No, sir, I don't believe they were.
but I mean. The first meeting in January, it would be on the council's agenda.
So the first meeting in January
Yeah.
every year is when we should come.
Or unless you turn it in earlier to be included in their
It'd
budget.
be easier to turn in.
The reason, and thank you for that, we did not, we just received our DOC funding notification, which was significantly reduced. We didn't receive that till probably the early part of August. The official notification that we're reducing budget.
See, and that would have been too late already.
Yeah, we were kind of contingent to see what we're gonna get from our DOC grant funds before we had to come back in front of the commissioners and council, but whatever systematically is the easiest, most efficient way to do it as we move forward, we'll certainly comply with that.
And in case I'm not here, you'll have to tell the auditor to put it in for an additional appropriation.
Yes,
That may
ma'am.
not be here in January.
Okay.
Just if you can next year, do it, well, just to see an extra meeting.
We'll get it done ASAP.
Thank you.
Is that all for today then? Are we okay? Should we come back then at the beginning of the year or?
Well,
Yeah.
January.
They doesn't have to come back to us though.
No,
No,
it
no,
does, the council.
we
Well,
don't.
that's-
Okay,
You'll go to the council.
okay.
First meeting in January.
Yeah, you'll want to turn in a request right away in January
Okay. For the council?
for the
Michael?
council, yes.
Okay, not the commissioners, very good.
Yeah, now can he go early? To see if they have an appetite, because I don't want him to get there.
Right, he could go, well, but then the council could change in January too.
Well, it could change. My only concern is he waits till January and they have questions and then it gets
Well, yeah,
kicked
he could
back.
definitely get on a council agenda and bring it up.
Would that cause any problems? I mean, if nothing else, just for discussion to keep things going.
Or maybe just an email just to warn the council.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't make any decisions on it till January anyways, but if you want to educate the council, it might be.
Via email, Mr.
Yeah.
Beer?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Very good. Can do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
John?
I think his two ordinances I put up there.
All right, good morning, team. I'm here on behalf of the planning commission to deliver two resolutions, both were passed favorably by all board members. The first one we have is resolution 2026 PC 13. It's the resolution to amend section 6 2 Delta of the Starke County Code regarding improvement location permits and plats. As of right now, agricultural buildings used for agricultural purposes are exempt from permitting fees. The planning commission feels that it's fair and equitable to treat all development the same and not exempt certain businesses or uses from permitting fees. So this ordinance would repeal that section.
So right now, we don't charge agriculture buildings.
If the owner comes in and claims the exemption, we'll give it to them. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen occasionally. There are a lot of agricultural people who don't say that they're using it for agriculture. They just say we're using it for storage. So we charge them in that instance.
Yeah, so for an example, the last 6-8 years, I've built a couple barns, all for storing agriculture. I didn't even know the exemption was there. And as John has indicated, most folks don't, so they don't present it as an option. unless they ask for it, unless a citizen asks for it.
But in me, that kind of falls back on your department, my opinion. I mean, you should at least offer that to a person that walks in. You know, you could save them $200 or $300 or whatever. Not you, your secretary or whoever.
It's true.
I mean, it could be like you saying, you could say whatever.
Well, but in their defense, as John stated in the plan, he doesn't have a clue if it's agriculture when somebody comes in and says they're gonna build a.
Right, that would require me asking every single person what the purpose of this building is for, you know what I'm saying? It's not really none of my business, I'm just here to give
I
permits.
understand, but are you gonna put that to the public now? Or
Well,
are we just gonna change the ordinance and then? Yes, if we change, you know.
it's been discussed in plan commission meetings for the last 2 meetings at least. It was published, the draft was published months ago on the county's website. It was put on Facebook, so people are aware the exemption exists. The only thing I could do is ask every single person what the purpose of their structure would be. And we don't do that.
When would it go into effect, John?
It would go into effect as soon as it's adopted.
So read it to me again, what it's doing, what it changed.
So section 6-5-2D says that agricultural buildings used for agricultural purposes are exempt from location improvement permit fees. This ordinance, just subsection D, shall hereafter read as follows: repeal.
So if a farmer, whoever comes in and says they're gonna use it, they can get it, they won't have to pay a permit.
No, they will if this is approved. They'll have to pay a permit regardless of what they're using it for.
Where before it wasn't like that.
Correct.
Did you still have to inspect anything prior or without that fee?
Yeah, inspections are still mandatory regardless of the structure, yeah.
Getting a lot of chatter. You guys wanna take some questions? Charlie, you all right? I saw your hand first.
Like.
We're not.
Yeah, Joanne.
I'm just that silos are already exempt, grain storage, right?
Yes, silos are exempt, but they're exempt on a state level.
Right.
So. Silos aren't even inspected.
Thanks, Mike.
Yes, ma'am.
Before, when I had to get permits, they always asked what the building was for, what you were getting a permit for. So you're saying now you don't ask?
No, I don't ask. It's not my job to know what you need a permit for. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to do, it's on you. I just need to know what you're building and where you're building.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's rules for tiny houses in the middle of somebody's woods.
Right, and that's where I come. What are you building? Where are you building?
So you ask.
I ask what you're building and where you're building. I don't ask the purpose. If they say I'm building a shed and they don't build a shed, that's not on me. They told me they're building a shed and I will deal with them if they get caught using it as an Airbnb.
Sir,
I mean, shouldn't it be on, I mean, just out of courtesy to the people in the county that pay taxes. Shouldn't we kind of know what they're doing, and that way they don't buy all this stuff, oh, I got a permit to build a barn, you go to build, it's like, oh, wait, you can't do that. Shouldn't that be kind of, I mean, I'm just asking, kind of, a little more like, I like smaller government, I don't like all the extra rules. Not that I know anything, but I'm just saying, like, shouldn't that be kind of like, what do you plan on doing, so they don't go buy all this stuff? If they got permits, like, oh, well, you can't do that. That seems to me weird. And I know, I mean, maybe it seems like a lot of work to say what you're doing, but to me, I feel like, I mean, this is all about the people that start counting the constituents. I feel like
Right, so
that
if
should be.
someone comes in with a pole barn and their plans, because everyone requires construction plans, right? If those construction plans outline bedrooms or rooms in general, and plumbing, and you know what I mean, 220 outlets, then I will question what the intent is for that building. And it's happened a couple of times where their plan looked more like a residential structure than a traditional pole barn. So during the plan review, if something doesn't seem right, then I will reach out, or I'll have Cassie reach out and ask what the purpose is. If their purpose is something other than a pole barn, then we'll tell them, we will deny them, we'll tell them they have to go to the BZA, or they'll have to submit new plans. Minus the rooms or minus the bathroom, or the rule is you can have rooms and you can have a bathroom, but then you can't have a kitchen. Or you can have a kitchen, you can have a bathroom, but you can't have rooms. A dwelling requires all three of those. And so long as their plans do not identify, and I do not find all three during an inspection, then they are following. So the only time I ask what you're doing with it is if your plans suggest a use other than what it should be used for.
Deb, did I see your hand start to
I
grow?
want to know how long you've been absent an agricultural representative on the planning commission.
I reached out multiple times, but Purdue resigned, I believe, February. So we've been out since February.
Are you going to have five representative?
Any other thoughts? Back to us.
So you, I don't agree with it.
So more or less, there was an exemption put in for the potential farm equipment usage. This is just removing that exemption. So if somebody comes in to build a pole barn, doesn't matter what the pole barn's used for, it's gonna be the same permit fee.
Why was the exemption there in the first place? Do we know the purpose? Why it was there?
There's no way it was put on.
Probably support farming,
Could have been.
support agriculture.
That's what we want in our community, right? Just like.
You know, I farm, but I can see the point of. You know, across the board, it means, you know, this other person's paying this for a building, you know, why not farmer? I mean,
You like the farmer to have at it.
and I mean, if you're inspecting these buildings, you know. You gotta be able to pay, doesn't that fund go back to help you?
Yeah, I mean, if we're charging permit fees, it's supposed to help offset the cost
Yeah.
of.
So,
But either way.
Well, I supported it on the plan commission, so I'll.
that was all,
Stick with it.
everyone voted yes on that, on the planning commission? I'll make the motion, we approve that, resolution 2026 PC 13.
Okay, we got a motion from Charlie and I'll second it. All those in favor?
Right.
Opposed?
Nice.
This one we need signed.
Yes, sir. All right, and the next resolution we have is resolution 2026 PC 14. This is an amendment to section 4 and 5 of ordinance 2006 22, which is the contractor registration ordinance. Section 4 had a typo requiring contractors to have a insurance in the amount of $1 billion. So I adjusted that and brought it back down to the $1 million that it requires. The ordinance also just lists Starke County for the bond, but it's been practiced and required that it says Starke County, all towns, cities, and municipalities. So I've added that as well. That just fixed administrative errors with the original ordinance. Section 5 is the renewal and transfer clause. The way it works right now is February 15th. Every February 15th, every contractor registered in the county has to renew. I believe that's unfair to those who register in December or January. They have to turn around and re-renew. And it causes unnecessary burden on my employees because they're handling 1,000 renewals in one time. So this ordinance will change it to a 12-month period and their registration will be valid for 365 days. That'll spread out the registrations throughout the year instead of creating a massive bottleneck.
No matter when they file for it.
Right.
So this is more or less in general terms, cleaning up the ordinance.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Got a motion from Donna,
I'll second.
Second from Charlie, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
this
you-
one has our signature on.
I don't know, so did this one.
Did it? You already started. I'll look at it.
Which one we do?
I guess we're doing that one. And John, do you know off the top of your head how many inspections have been required of you for this year?
I do not. I'm averaging between 90 and 110 a month.
And you personally have been out to every inspection.
I have this.
And I'll put that up.
Yeah, it sucks. We have one other piece of business. I don't know if you want me to wait till the end.
He's up here.
Just, yeah, get it over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I spoke to Stanley, our IT guy, about our code enforcement officer's tablet. She currently has a tablet that we pay monthly on. The tablet is not conducive to operations in the field. A, the camera's horrible. B, she can't receive calls or use it for GPS purposes. Stanley said I need to get your guys' permission to swap that tablet line with a cell phone line. So here I am asking for it.
And doing that, she'll be able to take pictures and everything off that phone.
Yeah, yep, and cameras are
Oh, we just
designed.
got that.
The tablet's about 4 years old.
I'm on.
Yeah, mine too.
So is that motion, Donnie?
Yeah.
Got a motion from Donnie,
I'll second.
second from Charlie, all those in favor? Aye.
Get up to Stanley.
Yep, all right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Stanley?
Good morning.
One.
I've brought 4 quotes for you to look over today. Quotes number 1 and 2 are for what you asked for from the last meeting for replacement of a certain number of security cameras. Quote number 2 would be the like for like modern equivalent of the same brand product line of camera. Quote number 1 is the recommendation from my vendor as far as quality and price compromise.
And you'll still be able to see clear on.
Yes, yes. If you look at quotes number 3 and 4, those would be for the replacement of the remainder of our old cameras. Now, these cameras hit end of life in July of 2011. They were the cheapest model of their product line at the time, and they're showing it.
Okay, let's back up here.
Yeah.
You said they reached end of life 2011.
11, yes.
I just wanted to make sure you didn't misspeak there.
No.
What's the fourth one?
The 4th one is, again, the like for like equivalent, the modern version of the model back then, the same brand, but the modern one. Quote number 3 would again be the recommended quality and price compromise between.
So quote number 4 would replace everything?
Would replace all of our extremely outdated cameras, yes.
And how many? 31, I think it says here, and 3 outdoor?
Yes,
But you said 3 would do the same thing.
yes. I would recommend 3. I'm just showing
And
4
that'll
for.
replace all of them.
Yes, that would be in addition to either quote 1 or 2 for the cameras that you requested last week. I'm just bringing up 3 and 4 to show you what we need done. Why we're at where
You
we're at.
probably don't have that in your budget.
No,
Michael, you know how much the commissioner's got.
Well, could this come out of building maintenance? This is for both.
all 3 buildings.
Yeah, all 3.
Your Jim Cap fund, you're talking about building maintenance? I don't think Rick's got enough money in building maintenance.
No. That's what I was thinking. That's how we can move forward.
For the 19,000.
15 years behind.
Yeah.
If we want to replace all of the ones that, all of the old ones and the ones discussed from the last meeting, we would need to approve on my recommendation, quotes 1 and 3.
Okay. And you'd be satisfied with that camera?
Absolutely.
On both quotes.
Yes.
How long do you think we could get out of cameras like this before they're obsolete again?
It's gonna last the easy 10 years. My quote from the vendor that recommended that one is that they're built like tanks, built to last. So
How long do you think it'll take you to change them?
it's gonna be a couple months, finding the time in between other things to get them, but yeah, like for like
But we'll do
replacement
this.
is fairly easy.
We'll do the one we talked about the other day first.
Yes.
Soon.
Yeah, what's the field of view on these things? Are they the same? Are they gonna be comparable?
They're gonna be a lot better than the current ones. Well, similar for the ones that we're talking about from the last meeting. All of the older cameras are gonna be a lot better.
Okay, so between the two quotes here, 3 and 4. 4 has much larger lenses. Is the field of view gonna be better on those or not significant enough to justify the
Not
cost?
significant enough to just.
Okay. Kelly?
Ones in the treasurer's office that are over the counter, are we gonna have a bigger,
I believe this would include those.
it would include those?
Yes.
Okay, because the view needs to be bigger over the counter. Thank you.
Is there anywhere we need to add a camera?
Yes. I've got a handout from security that had a few additional placements that they were asking for. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. The main place was second floor of the courthouse open area.
Is this enough cameras to cover the addition?
No, this would just do a like for like replacement for where we have existing infrastructure.
Do I remember, Stanley, didn't they want one on the top floor here?
We have one there.
Oh, you got one?
Yes.
So really, we should give you a budgetary price on this if you're gonna add a couple, because we'd be a little bit over.
Right. Prices would stay the same from what they're depicted there. But just increased to a desired quantity.
So we would need to add both items from number 1, both items from number 3. And probably some additional costs to cover a couple extra cameras.
Yes, of the 545.69. Net cost.
So the 549.69, would you want to add to that?
I would agree with that. If that's what we want to go.
Who was all security was asking for?
They were asking for 3. I think one of that they wanted was an outdoor, but I would have to double check.
We will add 3 extra up to.
Interior,
I believe one was an outdoor.
Is that more?
Yes, the exterior cameras are the second line item, 713.91. And the exterior ones require the mounting hardware.
I have a question, Mike, whenever.
go ahead.
So, since the commission at the last meeting decided that there was gonna be no audio on their cameras anymore. 2 things. One, has that been done? And second, will these cameras have audio or not?
Yes, it's been done, and no, these will not.
Okay.
Todd, it was done in our office within minutes after he left the meeting.
Okay. I'm just asking a question,
Yeah, I was just letting you know.
because I'm sure the ones without are are cheaper, probably anyways.
So without extra. Just with what's quoted, we'd be at $21,947.18. He's talking about some extra brackets, a couple extra cameras. I don't know, maybe we should do a budgetary if you guys are interested of 24,000. Not to exceed or something.
That'll cover both these.
That would cover both those and give him some extra for the brackets and cameras. Would that work for you, Sam?
Yes.
No, would he need to go to council for this?
If we take it out of commissioners, no.
If we edit, your commissioner edit budget has enough.
You think it had enough?
No, they've got 300,000. Well, they've spent some of it, but they had a budget already.
But we're not like, that's for getting running out, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You really think that's a good use of economic development funds?
Do what, Todd?
Do you think that's a very good use of economic development funds? Seems like it'll come out of a huge cap or something. Or a direct budget line.
Your thoughts, Dave?
Well, I mean, obviously you can spend your, commissioner's dollars, but Hume Cap would be appropriate for that too, for sure.
Because once again, the city comes back to having a capital improvement plan, which we don't have. But outlining how that money should be spent and can be spent. So. That's just my 2 cents on it.
If it goes to cap, it would need to go to council, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks.
Because council meeting was last night.
Split it up and do quote 1 immediately, have
Yeah, they would go.
quote 3 and the
So
additional.
we can do 3 or 4 changes. Yeah, that's good.
Well, but there's no urgency because he's disconnected.
That's true. Yeah.
So if we gave 24,000 out of cum cap, he could be on the next council.
Yeah.
Meeting
To get them ordered.
Okay.
if they approve it.
Right.
Well, that'd be a good checks and balance.
So how much up to 24,000?
I'd say not to exceed 24,000.
So I'll make a motion to let Stanley move forward with these cameras not to exceed 24,000.
That'd be full replacement of all the cameras in
Every,
all 3 of our buildings here.
Of the extremely out of life model.
I'll second that.
You got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so this got added on here. I'm not really sure where it came from. But information about who has private cameras in the building.
I was asked by one of you, I don't remember which one, to put it on there. I don't remember which one asked, but I was asked to put it there, so I did.
I guess if we're on this topic, Justin, and if we need to go in more detail or have an executive meeting, stop me. Can employees have a personal camera in their office for any reason?
So my recommendation would be, so my understanding, just talking to a few different offices, is there, excuse me, there's no active camera right now because there's a lingering question. No private cameras set up in private areas and offices, which would be my area of concern. And the ones that were installed were in areas that was for security reasons. So my recommendation would be, if you're going to discuss how you guys want to proceed with cameras installed by office holders in their private offices for security reasons, is discuss an executive just like we did with the jail. That's based on my conversation with a couple office holders. That was my understanding, and they likewise requested, since it is for security purposes, they put it up there that we discussed an executive.
Okay. That seem reasonable to you guys?
I ain't good, but I think if we got people here from the public wanting to question, we'll give them a shot at it.
Charlie?
Yeah, that's either way. Mom said.
You say we got people from the
I
public.
say if we did.
Oh, if we do.
Okay.
Is there anybody here who has any comments about employees using personal cameras?
Where is it being stored, the things they are recording?
I don't.
We wouldn't know that, they're personal cameras.
So, go ahead. Cause I just reached a question, I didn't have a question, but if that's the case, then, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, like what are they doing with this information they're reporting from their offices? Where's it going? Who has access to it? That's a big problem.
And Justin, would that fall under a FOIA,
So it could,
or does that get muddy?
it could, if you're recording using a private camera in a publicly open space, it could be subject to public documents request, depending on what you're recording, when it was recorded. There's a lot of exclusionary information, of course, when it comes to recording that would have to be redacted if it captures non-public information. It's kind of. But yes, generally speaking, and it kind of answered Kelly's question, and the other issue is too, storage, right? Because you have to store for a certain period of time in order to preserve the record. So in my understanding, just talking, and it wasn't just one, it was a couple office holders that said there is no right now, based on kind of hearing some of the feedback, there's no recording right now in any space. They're kind of waiting on the commissioners to maybe discuss the security measures in an executive, if you guys want.
Did you have something else?
Oh, basically, yeah, like kind of like she said, say, why do we need to, I mean, we already have cameras in the office, why do we need them? So I feel like it kind of makes like, I'm gonna do something, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, it feels like there's something more to it, you know what I mean? It's just like. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like it's almost an invasion of privacy to an extent, especially if you want an option, want to discuss something private with somebody. Like commissioner, I come in and want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to your whole family.
Right.
I don't want to talk to all your friends and say, hey, look what I recorded, ha ha. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of bullshit. That's just my opinion. I actually didn't think of it. But, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And they might be turned off now, but was it legal? Should the public have known when you come in a public office, you're being recorded?
Depends on what, when and where. I just like when the issue came up with the audio. What's being recorded, where is it being recorded? Again, what time frame are we looking at? I'm not trying to ride the fence here. It's just, it becomes very fact specific, just like redaction of any document that's potentially open to the public.
Well,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
have FOIA when the person recording it has it all at their fingertips.
You can, but most people, the way they FOIA is not correct. They are very overbroad and way too general in the way that they FOIA. So,
I mean, you don't have to FOIA your own recording.
I'm sorry,
If
I'm
someone's
misunderstanding.
recording private citizens come in their office,
It's in a
they
public,
do that recording themselves.
if it's a public space, and I know people don't like this, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy in a public office. So again, people don't like that answer.
That was the question.
So just like county can legally record in a public now. Again, there's other, and I stated this last meeting, there could be issues with if you are not a party to the recording, but you're recording two people and they don't know that there's a lot of things, but like there's voyeurism statutes there. I mean, so again, it gets very, very complicated. But by and large, the reason that the county can record in public spaces without informing people is because you have no reasonable expectation of privacy in a public space or in a public office. Again, different story. If you're recording the clerk in her private office and not telling her about it, that's an issue. Generally. That makes sense.
Ma'am?
Definitely some good points, and I guess I just have a couple of things. When we think about not using a camera in a private office, I can see there being concern because we have video of people coming into the building and maybe in the open space. But for the sake of some of our elected officials, maybe the county should consider putting some kind of non-audio recording device, because those doors could be closed and nobody knows what's happening. They could be attacked, they could be injured. There are things that can happen in their private offices. So again, if you remove the audio, Justin, it seems to me that they would be able to have, the county could put cameras in each of those offices. So for safety purposes, for some of our elected officials that have closed door offices, I'm not sure. I mean, you could go either way, right? It could be to protect them for their own security, if they have it without audio, or to even protect the citizen that might be seeing that. My second question is
Well,
going,
and let me stop you there. There would be nothing stopping a county employee or an elected from coming and requesting the camera. Because we could provide that as long as they were willing to put it in, even if there wasn't a reason from our end that it was there. Would that be? Okay, so
Okay.
good
And then my
point.
second question is, at the last meeting, I'm just curious, it sounds like we did get the audio turned off in the places that it was on. I know there were questions about who had access to the footage and audio. I know it was, if I recall correctly, it was security, it was IT and maintenance, and there was a request for maintenance to be removed from having that access, and anybody else that I would assume might have had access. Can you guys tell us if that was completed and when?
My knowledge, it's all squared away
Yes.
as of now.
Yeah.
As of today, it's squared away, but you don't know when it.
I think it was done in steps,
Yeah.
from my understanding, and there might have even been some confusion. But I think that was all resolved.
Yeah.
To my knowledge.
Okay.
Far as I know too.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just not allow private cameras within the county buildings? Wouldn't you want to control where all the cameras are within the county and know about them and know where they're at?
Well, I think as Justin said, that might be good conversation for an executive meeting to try to figure out the details of that.
So I have a couple of questions. The first one is the word employee was used in terms of where we have cameras. Are you differentiating with this between elected officials who technically would have a private office or employees that are behind a locked door like my office? The public can't just come in. They can't walk in to conduct business. You have to be allowed in through the door. So our office is not open to the public. Are you differentiating between employees that have open workspace that's open and visible to the public versus an elected official behind a closed door in an office? Are we differentiating between those two types of employees or elected official in terms of cameras?
Are you talking about the private cameras or the county cameras? To my knowledge, we don't have any current complaints about where county cameras are placed. And as we just stated, if somebody brought it to our attention, whether elected or an employee, they could bring it to our attention and we could evaluate to see about putting a camera there if that was their request. Does that answer your question?
I think so, because I guess in part, because I look at it differently. If an elected official has a camera in their private office where they're locking the door and they're leaving versus in an open workspace where the door is open, people can walk in and conduct business, I would think that that would be looked at differently in terms of private cameras as opposed to something else. Would you agree?
Well, it might be for more discussion.
That's what I was gonna say. Your office, absolutely, just because of what you deal with. Other county offices, I don't know, that's just my own opinion.
And then the other concern I have, because there's been a lot of talk about these cameras, is there any concern that we've violated any kind of federal or Indiana state laws regarding wiretapping? With who has had access to some of these recordings versus who's had knowledge of these recordings taking place? I mean, that's a huge, I think, concern at this point, when we have all kinds of people accessing these recordings and then potentially telling other people about what they're seeing. I mean, we've seen a lot of retaliatory behavior lately, retaliatory FOIAs and all of this craziness. I mean, is that something that's related to possibly things that are being heard on these cameras? I mean, is there any concern about that?
I think that's why we're taking action and trying to work on the problem. Not saying our previous system was perfect. I'm not sure how we got to where we were over the years, but we're trying to work through it now for sure.
You know, I think that, we had this issue several years ago with a commissioner who was recording phone conversations, I believe. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to bring in an independent company to do an audit of who's been listening and what access people have had that maybe shouldn't have had. Maybe that's something we should consider.
Maybe that's something we could discuss in an executive meeting as to how we'd want to approach that. That's a good idea.
Security related, sure.
Why couldn't the sheriff's department investigate it?
Because the sheriff's department should investigate the county. We should not be investigating ourselves.
Actually, when they have an incident, they call the state on that.
Yeah, because the big concern is the executive sessions were recorded.
And
That is ridiculous, and I think that we should self-report ourselves to the State Board of Accounts. Because their executive sessions may have been recorded.
Absolutely.
If we don't, I will. And then we'll get to the bottom of all this.
I, for one, wish I had known there were recordings from these offices to protect my own integrity when lies come out of their local offices. Or I'll start recording my own conversation.
Are you referring to personal cameras or the audio that?
Well, if there was somebody with a camera in their office, I wish I'd known. Because there's the lies coming out and there's no way to prove who's telling the truth.
Just real quick, just the differentiate. So I feel like there'll be between a personal camera and a county camera, who has access to recordings and how it is. So if somebody FOIAs it, oh, I got the information from this year, everybody's, only one person FOIA'd it, so that they could be actually held responsible. With a personal camera, guys, they can just load it up on YouTube or Facebook, and oh, look at this person that said this or that, you know what I mean? I just,
Right.
personal stuff right now. I don't care, I'm just, yeah.
And I'll make the comment too, that there's hard conversations in the county with, I've talked to almost everybody in this room privately. And sometimes those conversations are about somebody else in this room. And you gotta listen to that sometimes, and there's things that sometimes get said that don't need to be spread around. So I understand the concern about private cameras when you don't know they're going on. Because there could be conversations where two guys are joking, but then it's misconstrued as
Edited.
that, that was how they felt about it, or whatever. So I think there's a lot to discuss and unpack here, maybe in an executive meeting. Did I see another hand up back there?
Well, I was just gonna say, back to Tony's point, honestly, it's not even just the private, but depending on who's watching these, even within the county, they could just go tell somebody else. I mean, tell this employee or that employee, and that's how all of these things, right? Tiny telephone, things get dropped, things get changed, and by the time it gets to wherever it gets to, the information isn't accurate. So I do appreciate that you guys did take, Donnie, you made the motion at the last meeting to remove maintenance, because there was really no reason for maintenance to be accessing the audio and video. But again, we still, there's no way for us to guarantee with audio especially, that whoever's watching these isn't spreading the information. And, as you guys know, I brought it up at the last meeting. When you guys were in your executive session, we were listening to it loud and clear out in the foyer, because security was listening to it loud and clear out in the foyer. Any employee could have been standing at the top of those stairs. Anybody in an office on the first floor could hear it. Again, and then that information goes like crazy low. It's a big problem. It really is.
And I think that has been resolved.
Yes, it's been resolved.
We've been working on it.
For the private ones, do we have an obligation though now to tell the public though who had them, so they can kind of retrace it to see if they want to possibly check to see if they've been recorded? I mean, we've said this in a public meeting now, so now we've made ourselves liable, to these private cameras. I mean, I think now the public probably deserves to know who had private cameras, right?
Right.
Well, that might be something that we need to discuss in an executive to make sure we're not getting ourselves into a legal problem by announcing such.
We already did by talking about it in a public meeting.
Who has private cameras and who doesn't?
Yeah.
I'm not releasing the information, me personally, it told me in confidence, but if you guys want to talk about an executive, that's.
I say we can consider that, get you an answer, Dave,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we can give you an answer today.
I'm just after this, I
Right.
know everybody else's phones ring after meetings.
And I think we should probably discuss it.
Yeah, and again, it also, so here's the thing too, and people just, I made this point a couple times too, what, when and where, right? What was, so if it is, my worry when it comes to, I don't think that video footage of an internal office that contains confidential information would be able to be released anyway. If somebody made a request, and I'm just gonna, this is a bad example because Leslie's a state office, but if somebody requests information from her private office, notwithstanding the fact she's a state office, if she's dealing with juvenile files, for example, I mean, that's not disclosable almost under any circumstance. Anything with social security numbers, most of our offices contain files in the private portion of the office that have social security numbers that could be viewed, that have private proprietary information. So people can try, and I understand what you're saying, Dave, but people can try to request that private footage, but if it contains confidential files within that footage, I'm gonna say, no, this is excluded via statute anyway, so that's why I'm saying, yeah, it's open areas, again, you've got no reasonable expectation of privacy, like in here, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy, so we're being video recorded, but if it's in the clerk's office and she's got social security numbers in her office where she's maintaining that private camera not throw Bernadette under the bus, just throwing somebody out there. You know, they can make the public document request, but I'm gonna say no, under this exclusion, we're not releasing that because it contains financial information, social security numbers. So again, people can make the request. But if it's in a private space, 9 times out of 10,
I'm
it's
just
not
asking
gonna
if
be.
they have the right to know, that's all.
Sure, no, I understand your question. I wanted for the public because what's gonna happen is like what happened over the last 2 weeks is I'm gonna be ciphering through a dozen different FOIA requests asking for everything.
This is as long as they don't think for a legal investigation, because for a legal investigation, the only person that has to know is the person doing the recording. If it's. Yeah.
Is there anything posted on any of the doors that say you're being recorded when you walk into, I mean, I know everybody should know in today's day and age, but is there something, maybe that's how you solve the problem. Office holders wanna have private cameras in their office for whatever reason, just have to post something that says you're being recorded.
Yes, we just, because of this issue, we put up, stuff on our door and it says right on it, smile, you're on camera. And we decided to do that. My personal opinion as a citizen is anybody that is being recorded, I stated this in the last meeting, if there is any recording that somebody is doing and they are unaware and somebody else is unaware, are you truly gonna have a true conversation between individuals of how they're acting? If someone is aware and someone is not. So, yes, on the recorders, on our door, it says smile, you're on camera.
I guess my biggest concern was if you're doing audio in offices, I know we're not doing this anymore, but how many credit card numbers were recorded? How many phone numbers were recorded? I mean, I take credit cards every day in my office over the phone. We're gonna feed them back to customers because they can't hear. Or they wanna make sure we have the right number. These are major things, just like social security numbers. You know, we don't keep phone numbers on file in offices, but we will repeat a phone number back to someone.
We already took
There's a
action
lot of
on that. We have moved forward.
At this point, we've heard a lot of comment here, but really kind of everybody's saying a lot of the same thing in just a different way. And I think we gotta sort through this as to what the legal realm of it is. I think starting with an executive meeting to see what can and can't be released up to this point might be good. But I also think we might even request some folks here in the building that have concerns that have voiced it here today. We might even have them come down and just kind of fill us in on what they think about their office.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask. Are we allowed to attend and give our input, or can we have a department head meeting in regards to these? And whoever needs to take it, if it's my Blaine, she takes it back. What we've said, or if we can come to, I mean, I think everybody has.
Michael, I need something. If we have an executive, we could call him like.
Actually, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think if they have any issues, maybe send it to Michael and we'll get it on the executive meeting and talk to folks individually.
Yeah.
And I get it too, if you're a county holder and you've got a private office and somebody comes in and they suddenly start screaming at you for whatever reason. You know, that's just normal day-to-day life for me, to be honest, but. You know, I don't take offense to things like that, but I could see where somebody could. And you know, I could see why an elected or an employee might want to somehow protect themselves. So I kind of see both sides of it. We just got to figure out what's going to be the cleanest way for the county to move forward. Hey, real quick, but we got to move on here.
Just, I want to go back to Leslie's comment. I'm wondering how the commissioners feel about doing an independent audit to better understand who has accessed these executive sessions, who has, when they were accessed, who watched meetings that were happening and they knew this shouldn't have been. You know, how often certain.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss that.
Okay, I just want to make sure that didn't get forgotten.
Nope, I actually have it wrote down.
Okay.
So in purple.
Okay.
Good shape. All right, Rachel.
So if you want to discuss Bridge 13, everything's already been approved. I mean, it's all moved through the council, through you guys. I just need you to sign the LPA contract. That is including basically our county in that. For starting the process. Does anybody have a blue pen? Because I forgot to bring.
I attached the blue pen to the contract
Oh,
over
good.
there.
Actually, I think this is very qualified.
No, that's purple.
No.
I attached the blue ink to the contract just to be safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
And give you a purple pen.
And I looked over the consulting contract. It's basically the same LPA contract that we always do. You can just sign that one or sign this one. I don't care. Oh, you marked on it.
Can't sign that.
Yeah,
Look at all
you
this
just
stuff. I
scribbled
can't
on
keep
it.
track of everything.
Well, I didn't know if anybody'd have a blue ink pen, so I checked to
I
make sure
appreciate it.
that it had a blue ink.
And I think you've already reviewed this.
Consulting agreement.
Yeah, it's pretty far
Simple.
back. Yeah. Right, we should probably do a motion to,
But the LPA
Good, that's it.
consulting agreement for Bridge 13.
yeah.
I'll make that motion.
We got a motion from Charlie,
Second.
second from Donnie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We date it today or?
Yes, today, the meeting.
Noticed out in Union Township, you guys have been mowing along the road. It looks really nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Not Union Township, I'm sorry, North Bend.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I kind of just threw him in the mower, one of my full timers one day.
You did a good
I'll
job.
take my blue ink pen back in case we need it again sometime.
You get
So, yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
oh, I signed the other one. The one that Mike scribbled on.
Did you want to talk about I'm looking to see if you have the declaration of disaster.
Yes, I laid a copy over there.
Right here, right here.
No,
No,
No, I laid a copy, I gave a copy to Mike.
that's next meeting.
that's not, oh. Do you want to talk about that while I'm up here since it's basically pertaining to me?
I think. it's-
My department.
Yeah.
So we've had, I mean, I don't know if you guys have read our Facebook post, but we had over 100 trees down last week and we, even up till yesterday, we have been clearing trees out of the roadway all weekend. Like, it's been very rough for my department, but I have a good group. We're getting it done as the water rescinds, right?
Receipts.
Receipts. We are now picking up more and more of the damage that has happened to these roadways. And there's gonna be a lot of money put into it. Whether we actually get reimbursement or not, that's what I'm trying to go for, is by declaring this, we can get reimbursement. I'm gonna have to pay for it anyways. This one, and I just brought a couple to kind of give you examples. This one was on 700 South between 850 West and 900 West. Just love putting employees in a hole. But I put him in the hole just to show you a size of what we're dealing with. So this is what we're seeing, a lot of the roadways just washing away. This one's on 500 South. East of Range Road that I'm getting a lot of flack for because, of course, it's a main feed that goes through our county. Actually, I had a contractor started working on that one last week. And here's some of the finished area that they've gotten done. On 500 South.
You got a contractor, say we're.
Working on this one, yes. I do not have the manpower
Right, that's
or the
what you wanted
time,
last.
nor, yeah, I can't. These roads would have to stay closed for weeks and weeks by the time I could get out there.
I get it, I was just saying.
Yeah,
That looks good.
and then he's gonna, that same contractor is gonna start on this one after this one's done.
And you drafted this.
Yes, so.
My question is can it be dated, because technically the state of emergency was for August 11th.
So, yeah, typically and again, this is an area that I'm not extremely well versed with. What I've read under the statute, typically what should happen So you, Mike, as the president of the Board of Commissioners, would, under normal circumstances, declare a local disaster emergency. And like cities and towns, like the mayor usually does it. And the way the statute reads is once that declaration is declared, it can be in place for up to 7 days before approval by the governing board. So, and if I know this case, it wasn't perfect because we didn't really realize that it was gonna be the potential for reimbursement, but in the future, what Mike would do would be sign the declaration, provide the proper notices, and I can't quote those off the top of my head, that'd be in place for 7 days. And then it can be extended beyond those initial 7 day periods by you guys upon vote. So what? It's kind of a crapshoot because the statute's not well versed on once it comes to you guys, how long it can be in place. I think the governor's declaration said 30 days from, was it the 11th or 13th?
It was the 14th that he declared.
14th, okay.
He went to the 11th, like the 11th was the starting date of the
They
disaster.
made it retroactive.
Yeah.
So what I may recommend doing is, because again, the statute is silent on, can you just jump straight to ordinance to declare? I think we can do that. I would just stipulate in the ordinance, because I originally put 7 days, how long you want it to be in place. I wouldn't extend it beyond what the governor's declaration is. But again, moving forward, that's how we can do it. Because I know and I talked to Tori about this a while ago too. There's always worry about, well, can one commissioner act unilaterally? In most cases, no, but in case of a local disaster emergency, yes, to get something in place right away. So long explanation to tell you why we arrived at that, but.
Which is August 11th.
Yeah, that's the date, right?
Yeah,
That
August
you want it
11th.
backdated,
Yes.
so that should be the revised copy.
It is.
So we need to make a motion to approve this.
To
if
approve
we'd
it,
like to.
yes. And then I would just, if you guys want to stipulate, because I have 7 days in there, and that would be, I think that would run today if you backdate it, so you may just include in your vote for how long it's going to be beyond today's date.
And how long is the governor's for?
30 days,
From.
August 11th. Which is what I would like. If possible.
I'd make a motion to move forward, going back to the 11th.
For 30 days?
Yep.
All right, you want to clarify that again?
I'll make a motion that we go back to August 11th and we go for 30 days on the declaration.
Okay, we have a motion from Donnie,
I'll second.
second from Charlie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We've had a lot of great farmers and public people and, the dispatchers, the officers, a lot of people help us out. There's also been some not so nice people, so I would like to ask the public, just please be patient with us and do not go around the road closure signs because you do not see what we're seeing that's underneath the road. If you go around the road closure signs, even though the road looks normal, there's nothing underneath of it in some spots, and that's why we have to close it, if, it could potentially cave in.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
I just want to let the commissioners know too, on the EMA Facebook page, I posted the disaster hub from IDHS. If anybody has any personal claims that they need to make, and it also has access to several different things, portals and things like that. So, Responder Magazine, grants, other things like that, but they actually created the disaster hub at the IDHS. The links there. I see that there's some other EMAs from around
Can you
the
send me a copy?
area that are sharing it too. Just so you know.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
You got a Megan?
Yep,
Is that you?
that's me.
Okay.
First, I just want to say thanks for having me today on behalf of my mom. She is out because of an accident, a skiing accident, so she will probably be out for another month or so. So get me instead, and then I'll let Connor introduce himself.
Thanks. I'm Connor Cox with Bliss McKnight. Excited to be here today and just want to thank you all for your continued partnership.
So you guys have your binders in front of you. So this is your 2026 renewal binder. First, we start with the review of claims and services that you've had over the past year. We, Connor and Nick with Bliss have done over 130 hours dedicated in the last 2 years for risk management with the county. And then it kind of goes into your claims.
So I'll let you guys kind of look through those at your own discretion, if you're all your workers' compensation claims. If you have any questions, concerns, your property losses, and it also did include the claims that we've had in the past. I think they go back to about 2016 for your review as well. Wait. Any questions on the claims?
Yeah, I was just looking at, I was joking with her, so there's an ankle sprain for $43,000. I said, that's a heck of an ankle sprain.
What's being done to close some of these? I'm seeing dates going back a long time here.
Yeah, so most of the open claims are probably in active litigation currently. I could probably give you a more specific update, outside of open meeting, just to respect privacy concerns, but we've worked with the same law firm, actually, of Valparaiso for over 40 years now, and they only do public entity claims with the majority of the county. So I just said that to say that they're really good at it, and when extensive defense is involved, it's just, a lot of discovery, a lot of emotions, and so on and so forth. But if you would ever like a more extensive or detailed update on any of those claims, I can always provide that to you.
I'm just seeing on here that we have open claims that seem relatively minor that are still open 10 years old. Claims open, I assume that means it's still an ongoing.
Are you talking about it specifically? So I can make a note, we can go back and look at
I'm not trying to say anything here.
Right.
I mean, I'm seeing dates that are.
Yeah. This one's.
I would think 10 years old would be kind of unacceptable for an open claim to still be.
No question.
Yeah.
I think that might be,
Yeah, it could have just not gotten
yeah,
updated on this list.
we
This
might have
is-
prepared that folder. But so obviously 180 day court notice and then 2 year statute of limitations. So to your point, yes, more than 3 to 4 years, you would probably know about it. But I'll get back to updates on those. I don't expect those to be open. So
I would think that, because there's probably 40% of these things are still saying open.
Yeah.
According to this report.
Yeah.
And I just can't see that being reality, and if it is, I would think that would be completely unacceptable.
Yes.
For everybody involved.
Yes.
Yeah, we can go back to the office and get a better understanding of what is open still. This one is an older document. We updated it, your newer thing is up here. So I'll go back to the office and discuss with my mom and see what she wants to do about that.
Okay.
And in talking with claims before I came up here, we didn't have any of concern or to bring to your attention right now. Everything seems to be as normal or proceeding as normal. So apologize for putting that on.
So do you folks need anything from us today, or is this?
We'll keep going through the
Okay.
next part, yep. So the next section 2 is your Bliss McKnight renewal. So you'll be able to kind of just go through that at your leisure, but first you have your liabilities, and it's nothing's changed there. So you'll be able to see that you have your $10 million aggregate on there. Then next is just some of your stuff that's included in the policy. Then next you get to your auto limits of liability, which are 5 million. And you have your schedule for your inland marine down below as well. And then next on your property renewal, so you're gonna have, that's with Chubb instead of specifically with Bliss, and so that is just a rough number right now. They didn't have that back to me yesterday. They were supposed to get it to me today, but they are expecting just a 3% increase, and that is because we increased the property coverage by 3% automatically. That's required. Okay. And then next you'll have your premium or summary, but we'll review that next on a couple tabs in just a second. So we'll just skip that for now. And then we'll go to tab 3. This is part of your property renewal. This is your inland marine contractors equipment. So this is the contractors equipment that has been updated with the highway department. And then a couple pages after that, you have your scheduled live animals quote, and that is for the canines. And they're covered for specific perils of the policy, not mortality or sickness. Any questions or comments on that? Okay. Then next on section 4 is your IPEP renewal, which is your workers' compensation renewal. So you're down almost a flat renewal, actually down a little bit, about $800. Your experience mod is still high right now, but it's expected to drop next year based off of your claims history that's been happening, which has been good. But IPEP has continued to offer that 25% credit because they've seen that your losses, the ones were larger, but the frequency is down. Okay. The audit this year or for 2025 resulted in a $7,000 credit. But after my mom talked with Michaeline, or Carrie talked with Michaeline, she said that we were going to just put that $7,000 credit towards this renewal premium. So if you notice that kind of coming through, that's why we did that after we discussed. Okay. And we left the payroll after discussing with Michaeline as well. Instead of increasing payroll or decreasing down to that audit payroll that we got back from 24 to 25. After discussing with everybody, we decided to leave it at what it was originally because we expected payroll not to be going down like it did in 24 to 25. Okay. And then you can just see your kind of schedule of operations and what you guys are being rated for on class codes and things like that. It's called is. And then this is just information for you guys on the workers' compensation policy and the reporting procedures and all of that. And then tab 5 is your premium summary. So you're going to see the premium over the last since 2020 that we've been doing the insurance. So you can see a breakdown per liability, employment practices, all these things. And then the page after that is kind of going to give you an explanation of why premiums have either rose or why they're the way they are. So we're just right over about 900,000. Like the multi-line liability has increased because we've been increasing exposures in police officers and jail and police exposures. Any questions for me on any of that? On tab 7, that is just the services that are offered with Bliss McKnight and with risk management and as well as with IPEP. So it's just a catalog of things that can be provided to the county and have been used.
I just want to say we appreciate how responsive the department heads are, and Nick Ermitter, our risk manager, works with them frequently. And again, we just really appreciate the partnership. They've been open and willing. Again, we really appreciate that. And Nick works very hard to kind of keep those claim dollars down as much as we can. Obviously, being a county, you're just going to have claims. And that's why we're here to take care of you and close claims in an appropriate amount of time.
Nice.
So,
Appreciate it.
So I am asking the commissioners for a motion to approve to go forward with the renewal for the Bliss McKnight and Fed property renewal.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We got a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I gotta get going here pretty quick. I see we got a title here, Michaeline.
Yes, Rick said that the bucket truck sold for your reserve amount,
Okay.
and so it needs to be signed. Is that right, Rick? Well,
Yeah, but the 5,000 has been awarded to it, will sell.
Okay. So let's see, this is an old title. Sir,
Where is he supposed to sign, Rick? I think he's.
That's an older title.
That's an old one, yeah.
Sometimes it was in the front.
Yeah.
It should be what says seller. And I looked at it.
I think it's here on, well, that's for release of lien though.
Remember those days you used to have to notarize them?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with old titles? I know you've bought and sold a lot of over the years.
Should be on the back.
Well, it should be, but it's a little different. See, that's for lien.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. I've seen it before.
And I think that's
That's for the purchaser. Signature purchaser. Ah, seller. Right in the middle here, signature of sellers printed. Yeah, that's pretty old.
okay. I think I'm gonna probably have to. We're just gonna do exempt on the miles. Do we have miles or anything?
Which one here? I think it had 185,000, but.
What year is it?
92.
It's exempt then, yeah.
Yeah, it's exempt.
I can write those in later, right?
No, I think you don't need to have it, it's
Yeah.
because of its age, it's, yeah. The real old ones used to have a box that said exceeds mechanical limits.
Yeah.
That was not cool. That's a very opinionated.
Megan, oh, we got less public comments if you guys don't want. Okay. Just letting you know.
If you guys find something on this, I've never seen a title like this one before, so if you guys find something, I guess.
We'll get hold of you.
Yeah, get a hold of me, I'll get it straightened out. Before my time. One more quick thing. Tori, I think Susan had questions about getting this posted. Suzanne up in the auditors, I don't think she's posted it yet.
I wanted to talk to you about that, Mike.
Okay.
I sent you a message about, the discussion that was with the EMA Advisory Council. In fact, they're waiting online. We're gonna have a meeting shortly. Donnie was your appointment to that board, to the council. It's a board, sort of led position. So I don't think there's any opposition to posting it, but the council was gonna meet to kind of talk about it a little, because the idea is not to get too hasty and just hire anybody. You know,
So
don't
would the
really bring
board
this-
maybe develop maybe the criteria that we
Yeah,
can post so
yeah, I
we
was
can
thinking
sit
that-
tight for a
yeah.
moment?
Yeah, I would think that would be the best way. I mean, just so you know, I don't broadcast this a lot because then I get bashed online because I'm get involved in things because I'm proud supposedly or whatever, but it's not, it's a lot of work. But when we haven't had an EMA director, I've always been the de facto EMA director. And so right now, what's going on is, dispatch already knows, and so I'm taking the EMA calls, and when I'm not here working or whatever, Brad Hazelton from Hamlet Fire, who's always been on the EMA Advisory Council, also is gonna take calls, and so we'll be able to handle it until we get somebody straightened out.
How soon do you think you could have something put together just so we could advertise? That way folks.
I think after this meeting, probably by the end of the week or maybe the beginning of next week, if that's suitable to the commissioners.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah. And it's public, you are the standby, you are,
Yes.
you are Brad.
Yes.
Yes.
Cause I've had a couple of folks in Stark County that have kind of reached out that would probably be qualified.
Yeah,
That are just waiting, I think, to
right.
apply. So,
And we'll wait till they get.
Yeah.
Jim helped us a lot too, but obviously he's got a lot already on his plate, but
That was why I'm still here, because I wanted to discuss that, because I've got 2 or 3 emails that I gotta forward to somebody. 'Cause-
you can forward them to me.
Okay.
You guys got anything else?
Mhm.
Anything from the crowd?
I just want to inform you guys that the cameras in the warehouse is not working. It has nothing to do with this system here. It's a DVR, course on itself. Stan was gonna bring it up during his meeting, but he forgot, so. Right now, we're working on getting a quote to get it replaced.
It's a good start.
Yeah. I thought Stan had it.
Stanley?
Oh, there he is.
Yep, I'm still here. I can get different quotes, but it really depends on what we're looking for to replace for there.
Start with quotes.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else? Ma'am?
I just wanna say, this is my first time here. You guys really conducted yourselves very well, and I was very impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't you want our name?
Michael, yeah.
It's Tammy Schumacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sam Purifier,
Okay, thank you.
Railroad Township.
Thank you.
I have one more thing about when we were talking about the volunteers. I talked to Carrie, she said that there's a minimal charge for volunteers on work comp. They would not receive lost wages if injured, since they are not being paid, but would be eligible for medical care. But she's all for it.
Alright,
I think it's something you keep moving forward on.
So some protocol. Get it done.
Motion adjourned.
Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Good job. Yeah, I tried for you, but I don't want to.
I'll keep forwarding that to you too, Mike.
Okay.
I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but you know what the makeup of the advisory council is?
I don't know who all's on it.
It's the Civil Air Wing Patrol and
Okay.
the head of each town.